Joining me right now is political analyst Dr. Jason Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me.
Glad to be here.
Jason, we thought the Never Trump movement had no more legs, that it was dead, over and done with, but you saw what happened earlier on the convention floor. Some people actually walked out.
Yes, the Iowa delegation and the Colorado delegation walked out in protest based on the fact that they didn't feel like their voices were being heard. They wanted to make it clear that Trump may be the inevitable nominee, but they weren't in support of him. And that kind of tension is going to last throughout the week.
And someone was telling me that this will probably continue to happen because there are people who would not like to see Donald Trump as a Republican nominee. Let's talk about Melania Trump, though. He will introduce his wife tonight, and I know she is scheduled to talk about her love of country, being an immigrant. Do you think that will actually help him? Because we know what he's talked about, building a wall, banning Muslims. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it may be beneficial. There's a watch party, I think, in the Slavic community in Cleveland that are actually in big support of Melania, but not all immigrants have the same experience. So being an immigrant from an Eastern European country, being an immigrant from China, being an immigrant from Mexico is very different. So I don't know if she's going to be able to resonate with all of the immigrant experiences, but if she's smart, that's what she should try and do.
Okay, there are a lot of establishment Republicans who aren't here. The Bushes aren't here, Mitt Romney, Senator John McCain. But talking to people here, they're really upset that the Republican Ohio governor, John Kasich, is a no-show. And some have told me that they've used words like it's a disgrace that he's not here because it doesn't put Ohio in a good light. What do you think, the fact that Kasich
I don't think it's a disgrace, but I think it's a sign that lots of people don't like Donald Trump. I mean, it's really that simple. And I think the pettiness has gone both ways. I mean, usually the delegation for the state holding the convention is right up front, and the Ohio delegation is not up front in front of the stage. So I think there's been a lot of pettiness going back and forth. John Kasich is just one of many Republicans who aren't showing up, and Trump's going to have a lot of work to do. This was supposed to be fixed at the end of the primaries. Here we are in late July, and it's not fixed yet.
And what do you think by the time we get to Thursday when he accepts the Republican nomination, do you think we'll ever see a softer, gentler Donald Trump, or will, because people seem to love that he's bold and he's brash and he says what's on his mind and what he feels, and he thinks there's too much political correctness.
Look, if this has worked for him thus far, he's going to keep doing it. And personally, I don't necessarily, there's been no indicator from anyone I've ever spoken to on the Trump campaign or any of the Republicans that I know that Trump has the discipline or the dedication to change how he campaigns. So he is going to be the same person on Thursday that he has been throughout this entire campaign. If that works for him, great. And if it doesn't, he's going to lose in November.
And the theme tonight is make America safe again. And you know as well as I do what's going on in our country right now. The world, as a matter of fact, the violence that we're seeing. What does Trump need to do to convince everyday Americans that he can help make us safe again and then unite this country? Because right now it's racially divided in a lot of cities. What does he need to do?
Well, first off, he needs to quit changing his message. If you're Make America Great, then stick with it. McDonald's doesn't change its slogan. Coke doesn't change its slogan. So from great to safe to whatever, I don't think that's good. It doesn't make him coherent. The second thing is this. Donald Trump has to actually convince people that he cares. And empathy is important. You know, people may not trust Hillary Clinton, but they do think she cares about certain things. Donald Trump has to convince black people and lots of white people and Hispanic people and young people that he actually cares about them and that they're not people that he just wants to vote for. That is going to be difficult because the last year and a half, he hasn't convinced anybody.
All right, Dr. Jason Johnson, thank you so much for your insight. We're going to go back into Tiffany. All right, thank you.